Welcome to the Let's Talk Basic podcast, where girls talk about everything basic.
Join us as we sit down with a glass of wine and see where the conversation goes.
Kick back,
relax,
and get ready for the ultimate girls' night in.
I'm your host, Joanne.
And I'm Vanessa.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Welcome back. Cheers.
Cheers. It's actually Vanessa's birthday weekend, so happy birthday!
Thanks for baiting me out. You didn't even tell me that you're going to say that.
I would sing happy birthday to you, but it'd be kind of awkward because it would just be me, so...
Let's save that.
Okay, I'll save it for after.
Okay, great.
Save you the show and everything.
All right, so okay. I guess we're talking about turning 30.
Yeah, a huge topic and one that is kind of relevant because it's your birthday.
I know, but it's such a scary number.
Yeah.
Isn't it like very daunting? And I always feel like, you know, you're 16, you're 19, and then, you know, you're maybe 25 too, but like 30 seems like huge. A really scary milestone number.
Yeah.
Where people put very kind of like huge expectations about what you're going to do, how you're going to celebrate, what you've achieved in life. And it just all seems really nerve-wracking when you think about turning 30. And I want to look at it like it's just another birthday, but I feel like with everyone asking, it doesn't feel like it.
That's true. I feel like partially it's like everybody puts such a big deal on 30 because of how they celebrate their birthdays, because of how they always ask like, what are you going to do? Or how do you feel?
I know. I hate that question. Yeah. Although I do always ask you that too. I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
But like no one asks, hey, like how do you feel like turning 27? It's like, oh, that's very irrelevant.
Yeah. But okay, Vanessa, how do you feel turning another year older?
I don't feel great, to be honest. And it's very different than what I thought it would be like. Mm-hmm. But I'm not gonna lie, I have no I don't have any plans of, you know, going to Vegas or like going to a club, because I wouldn't go to a club or go to Vegas if I turned 28 or 29. So definitely not going to do that in my 30th birthday. I think I'm just going to keep it pretty low key, you know, pretty low key, going to brunch and everything.
Yeah.
So nothing crazy, but I don't know.
Well, I think it's kind of timely because a lot of people might be going through it or will go through it or maybe can relate to us. And I feel like there was a lot of thought that went into like prior to me turning 30. Mm-hmm. Like I honestly felt like I had to do a lot more reflection in my life. For example, I was like, there's been a lot of thoughts about like, okay, are the people in my life the people that I want to carry through into my life? But that really hits you like right before you turn 30. Like, man, am I happy with how life is going? Like that entire mentality was, I don't know, going through my head the last like 6 months.
Yeah, I feel like you start like thinking about every aspect of your life, not just your friendship, your relationship.
Work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The work is a really big one too.
Yeah. Cause it's like you're not young anymore. You've been working for like 10 plus years, maybe.
That's so scary.
Yeah.
To say.
Like I never imagined myself being able to write 10 years of experience on my resume, you know?
You know when those job descriptions come out and they're like 7 to 10 years of experience in the field.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
And you're like a new grad and you're like, what? How am I supposed to get that much experience?
And you look at your resume now and
you're
like, there I am.
Yeah.
I'm in that category.
Yeah.
I can apply for that job now. But yeah, it's like, you know, you start to think about and evaluate every single aspect of your life. And I think one of the things that I really think about is the relationships that I have, like you said.
Yeah.
Right? And friendship.
Yeah. I feel like I spent so much of like my 20s hanging out with so many different groups. And it's funny if you like count the number of people that were invited to my birthdays or came out for my birthdays, like every year gets smaller and smaller. And this year I was like, you know, like we can invite a small section of people, but I'm really only expecting like 6 people to come, and we'll just stay in and play some video games. Like,
that sounds great.
Yeah.
I'll come to that.
Yeah.
Another thing, because you just mentioned that, is that during the holidays, just a month ago, I realized that I kind of blocked all these things. I'm like, I probably will have a party here and party there. And I'm like, this holiday, I was pretty free.
Yeah. It's true too.
It's like one party and then like my family, and that was pretty much it. So I feel like definitely as you get a little older, it doesn't have to be like, 30 on the dot, but as you get older, I think people start getting a lot more comfortable about saying no to things that they don't want to go to.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. You're just like, that's not worth my time.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing. Like, you value your time a lot more. And you're like, you start weighing everything. It's like, do I really want to be doing that?
Yeah.
And if you don't want to, you're very comfortable being like, no, I'm good.
Yeah. And I think in your early 20s as well, you're always feeling like you want to experience so many different things. You don't want to feel like you're left out. You want to be included in all these different groups and stuff like that. So we tend to say yes, yes, yes a lot more. And even if sometimes we actually don't want to say yes, we just want to join in so that we don't feel left out.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely finding more and more so now. I just rather stay home.
Yeah.
And does that sound boring? Is that something that happens right when you hit 30, or is that just us though?
Maybe that's just us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's, maybe we're wrong, but I'm just going to speak from my experience. Like, I'm like an Enneagram 7, right? Like, I always have wanted to go out and like do things, be spending time with people. I would never pass up an opportunity for something fun. But now, something that would be really fun for me is staying home and watching Netflix.
Oh gosh, we sound
I'm like,
so
that
boring.
sounds so... No, it's amazing.
I know, it feels great.
It feels amazing. Yeah, it feels awesome.
But what about in terms of when you were like really young? So like in your teens, you were thinking about like, oh, when I'm 30, these are all the things that I would have done by now.
Yeah.
So I just kind of want to compare what your version of, turning 30 looked like in your head when you were a teen and what it actually looks like now. Is it different, or is it pretty much what you envisioned?
No, it's like 100% different. No, maybe not 100%.
So
but like,
what did you think you were going to be like when you were 30?
Like, definitely married with kids, probably a senior manager with a huge team. Yeah, I have no idea what, like working in a magazine company or something. Yeah,
that sounds fun.
Yeah. I was very influenced by How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
It's like my favorite movie.
I know, it is fun too.
So good.
Yeah, but it's kind of interesting. Like, it's not really like that at all. Like, I just felt like I would feel so much, or I thought I would feel so much older, look so much more mature. And like, maybe I do, or I felt like I would fit in with adults.
Right. And you would identify more with them.
Yeah. Like, I would be like, oh, one day I'll kind of be able to be in those conversations. Like, they flow so easily or whatever. And I do, but I always still feel like young.
A kid.
Yeah. So in some ways I've achieved my like vision in that, like, I'm married and I'm working, I have like a career, but I feel like I'm not as mature or wise as I thought I was going to be. I feel like I'm actually dumber now.
Oh, don't say that.
No, I would.
I think my vision was pretty much kind of the same as yours too. I definitely envisioned myself married with 2 kids now.
Yeah.
Living in like a suburban area.
True. Yeah.
With like, you know, a Dodge Caravan. Going to soccer practices, basketball practices, going to parent-teacher interviews, being, you know, on the parent council. Like, I really did envision myself doing that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be that parent, and still can be.
Yeah.
Eventually, you know, that bakes at the bake sale, gluten-free, nut-friendly. Like, I'm so crazy.
Yeah.
I don't even know what movie that came from.
Yeah.
But there is one by Sarah Jessica Parker that's called I Don't Know How She Does It.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it, watch it, because when I think about adulthood and what that would look like, that movie and how she portrays is exactly it.
Yeah.
And she does a really kind of like a fun job of mocking some of the parent-teacher council presidents by you know, making fun of their like gluten-free cookies and all that, when she just brings like Chips Ahoy to class. So I thought I would be that.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm still, you know, living in my condo, and obviously in a really great, stable relationship, have a great career that I enjoy. But definitely not married, no kids. And I'm really happy about that. And I think one of the things that, you know, as a teen, you would never know is that it's not, you know, being an adult and, you know, growing up is never like a straight line.
Yeah.
Right? There's so many different like curves and like challenges on the way, and people that you meet that could, you know, sway you one way or another. And yeah, you just kind of never know where life is going to take you. But I'm extremely happy with where I am right now, because one thing that people don't tell you when you're a teen, when you turn 30, is how much disposable income you actually have.
Yeah.
Right? To be able to finally not stay in that hostel.
Yeah.
And to travel, you know, you don't have to travel lightly. You know what? You can pay for that luggage, that extra, you know, $25 to $40.
Yeah.
And it's okay to, you know, spend that another, you know, $100 on that hotel that you want, and go to that spa that you like. So that's the part that I'm really, really enjoying.
Yeah.
As I, you know, become older and turning 30s. The economic situation is pretty good, and you're financially independent. You don't have to ask your mom or dad for anything, and I think that's the part that I like the most about growing up and turning 30.
That's so interesting, because I get in a way that, yeah, we have more disposable income, but at the same time, I feel like I can spend it less. Like when I was young, I was, you know, like our trips would be like those ghetto Asian bus tours to New York City.
Tours.
Yeah.
Safeway tours.
Exactly.
New York, 4 days, 3 nights.
You stay in New Jersey. Yeah. Like, you get really like 2 hours in New York, but...
And the stores don't even open.
Yeah.
You go to the Rockefeller Center and you're like, nothing is open.
Yeah.
Can't even get a coffee there because you're taking me there at like 6 a.m.
Yeah. And you're like in the bus for 12 hours a day. Yeah. Like, but at the same time, I felt like we could do that so easily. I would remember just going with my friends being like, yeah, you want to take a trip? Yeah, let's go to New York. And like, it was so easy. Just, I mean, it wasn't a lot of money.
Yeah.
But we would spend it very frivolously because it's like, oh, like...
Because we have no other responsibilities.
Yeah. Or like, we would go to Montreal for a week, like a night, because we would get one rental car and split one hotel room between like 5 people or something.
Yep. I remember that.
But now I feel like if somebody was like, oh, let's do a weekend trip, I'd be like, ooh, I don't know.
Let me check with that person and this person, and oh no, I have something planned here.
But not even about that, but it's just like, wow, that's like kind of a waste of money. Like, no, I'd rather spend that like $100 on a Google smart plug or something like that.
Right. No, I get what you mean though.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of things, you know, when you're a homeowner and, you know, car owner even, there's a lot of different expenses that come up that are unexpected.
Yeah.
Oil change, tire change, winter tires, getting a new alarm system and paying for cable television, which I still cannot afford. Things like that all add up because back then, these are all things that your parents figure. Oh, these are the adult things that the adults
or
take
things
care
you're
of.
just like, I would never have. Like, I would never have cable television. I would probably have a really crappy cell phone plan, but all my friends have it too. So we just call each other after 6 p.m. for the free call or free text messages.
Exactly.
Like, that was so commonplace. But now it's like, I don't know. Because we have so many responsibilities, it's like, I don't know.
I do. One of the things that I do want to say is that I feel like life gets a little less spontaneous.
Yes, 100%.
Right? Because I feel like we plan so far ahead on our calendars. And, one example is when we plan this podcast, we look at the dates and we basically have every single date that we're going to meet up and plan and work on this already until May.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's scary. Right?
I know.
That's
that
really
people trying to make plans with us in May right now, we could say, no, sorry, we have something already.
Yeah.
I have people's weddings in my calendar. Next weekend's already booked up. I have cottage weekends booked already. And it's like, that's 6-7 months away.
Yeah. But why do we do that?
I know.
Like, why do we do that to ourselves? Is that the adult thing to do? Did our parents do that as well? I don't...
Probably. I feel like it's just like we have so much less time now that I think you have to book so far out. Because if you only have 2 days really to hang out with people...
Right, on the weekends.
Yeah. And you have like my husband's friends and my friends to hang out with, our families. Like, that's a lot of different groups to like... put into our social calendars, and then you end up building on top and you're like, oh wow, I've already planned for April.
So that's definitely something that I have to work on too, is trying to say no. Right, I know that we talked about it a couple of episodes ago, and saying that I have to get better at it, but I do feel like at this age we do get more okay maybe sometimes about hurting other people's feelings, because you just care about yours and what your family's priorities are. I think that's kind of like the more important thing, is that because you and your husband now, you guys are a family and you guys are a unit.
Well, that's weird too. Maybe that's the thing in your 30s that you're like, my family and I and it's not like my mom and dad. It's like,
but like kind of like alluding to what you said like earlier about like taking girls trip. Before it's like, oh, okay, I'm that one person that like I can just go. I have no responsibilities. I don't have to check with anyone. You just go.
No, it's
but
true.
now you have to think about other people in your life. And whether they be okay with it, and is this in our family plan? Is this within our budget? And, there's so many things that go along with it.
It's disgusting. Okay, more about things that I realized turning 30 is like eye cream is a thing.
Yes.
I have no idea how, like, I would say I apply eye cream about 3+ times a day.
Do you have time? Do you bring your eye cream to work too?
No, I put it on in the morning before I do my makeup, because I see it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I see all the wrinkles coming in. And then when I come home, I apply more. Okay. And then when I
go to sleep.
Before I go to sleep, I apply more. And like sometimes when I just accidentally look in the mirror,
you apply
more. Because it's crazy. Like, I can see wrinkles, and I've never been somebody who's been afraid of wrinkles, and I'm like, I don't really care, but I'm like, I don't know. It's just a fact of like, oh my gosh, like this is something that I actually have to be proactive about, and like my skincare regimen will actually affect what will happen in like 10, 15 years. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is the time to prevent anything that I want. This is like the time to be proactive.
Yeah. I've definitely splurged more on skincare in the past 2 years alone than I've ever.
Yeah.
In my life. I was always that kind of girl that went to the drugstore and said, "Oh, Garnier is on sale.
Yeah.
You know, it's $8. That'll do."
Yeah.
But lately,
or like the type of person to like sleep with my makeup on.
oh, that's so bad. Eh?
Well, now I'm like, oh my gosh, like
Pretty sure I did that every night when I was drunk and living with you.
Yeah. Check.
Yeah. And like I would use those, those makeup wipes.
Yeah.
And I still sometimes use them when I'm really, really lazy, but they're actually so bad for you.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, they kind of sting my face.
Yeah.
And they kind of leave kind of a residue.
Yeah.
On it. And if I'm using that, I'm so lazy that I probably wouldn't rinse my face afterwards.
Right.
So it's pretty bad leaving those chemicals on your face. I've started using like the
micellar water.
Yeah, the micellar waters, which
Yeah.
I think are better. But I do want to ask, what kind of eye cream do you use?
So, I have an aunt who works at Estee Lauder. So I get the advanced night repair. But then I also have like a few like samples that I've gotten over the years. So like right now I'm using a La Mer sample.
Oh my god, they're the best.
They're pretty great.
But they're so expensive.
Yes, that's why I'm using the sample.
Yeah.
And I probably will not buy my own after. But I really actually like the Estee Lauder one. Like I feel, because it says like night repair, I feel like it does a lot while I'm sleeping, which I really appreciate that like thought. What else have I been using?
I've been using a new one. I literally just got this yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a Caudalie.
Oh, I've heard that one's good.
Yeah, so I'm trying it. It's my first day, so I can't give you any reviews on it quite yet.
Yeah.
But,
I honestly can't give any reviews. It's just like, how does it feel on my face?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if it's working or not.
I started buying eye cream literally just probably a year ago.
Yeah.
I never used eye cream. I'm the kind of girl that just put everything on my face and like, okay, hydrated.
Yeah.
But like you, I'm starting to notice those wrinkles and like sagginess and everything.
Yeah.
But speaking of skincare and, like skin regimen, aside from your eye bags, another thing that I've noticed for myself is my neck.
Oh, yeah.
So I get these lines on my neck, and my mom has them too.
Yeah.
And so there's this thing that we make fun of her. So she's constantly, when she's watching TV, kind of like
stroking her neck.
Stroking her upwards.
Yes.
Towards your chin.
Yes.
And this is something
I do the opposite. I stroke downwards.
Oh, you need
from like your chin down.
So my mom does this.
Yeah.
I'll show you the motion on
So she's doing her like neck bone up to her chin. I do the opposite, where I like use my index, like, I don't know, pads. I get index finger pads to like stroke down.
Yeah, so I stroke up.
Yeah.
And my mom does it. So my sister and
This is ancient Chinese voodoo on how to avoid
neck sagging.
Yeah. Like the neck fat.
Yeah. So my sister and I always make fun of her. And the other day I was sitting, watching TV and I was doing it.
Yeah.
And then my boyfriend laughed at me. He's like, that's what your mom does. I got so mad at him. Because I don't know, it's kind of offensive. But because I make fun of my mom.
Yeah. Oh, I've been doing that for like years.
I don't think mine's working though. Help me.
You have to go downwards.
Is that it? But I'm still getting lines. I don't know. Do you guys get it? Let us know.
Yeah. And what do you guys do?
Yeah. I'm really thinking.
We'll try it out.
Yeah, I honestly want to try the jade rollers.
Me too. I've been looking at it too. Like,
I saw it on sale actually.
Yeah.
At Winners. They have pretty good.
It was the one with the headband?
Yes.
I got that for a gift.
Oh. Were you at the College and Bay one?
No, I was at Laird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, great. I totally saw that though. But yeah, I was watching, what was it? Kelly and Ryan? Like,
yeah.
And they had like a segment on the jade rollers. And like Kelly was saying how you put in the fridge, blah, blah, all the things that like you put on the fridge, put like your oils on and like rub it in. It feels great. It like tightens your... Anyways, I was watching with Tyler And I was like, oh, like, I should get one. And he's like, you don't need that junk. And like, because he said it like that now, I'm like, I can't get it because he's going to be like, I can't believe you got it. So
I feel like he would, you can massage him to liking it.
I feel like he's going to be like, you just wasted money on like
this jade roller.
Yeah. Like it does nothing. It's like marketing.
Maybe.
But in my head, I'm like, it could be, but I feel like it probably does something to your face. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I also pinch my face. Like I pinch my cheeks to like
make sure that they're plumped.
Well, I pinch them to get like in my mind. This is how I think it works. Okay.
Oh, this is not scientific.
This is not scientific at all. But when I pinch them, I feel like more blood goes into that area and it like rejuvenates. Yeah.
Oh my God, this is not. People are gonna listen to this and say, "What is wrong with you guys?"
Yeah, so sometimes I'll like pinch different parts of my face, and I feel like are getting like saggier, like they're not getting enough exercise or something.
Oh my God. Well, speaking of exercise, I think that's another kind of good segue. So people often say that once you hit 30, your metabolism starts to dwindle.
Oh yeah.
And then everything that you eat starts to really show up on your face, on your body, and all of that. And I've got to say, I'm a little, obviously very nervous about that, but I'm like, but I don't know how to stop it because I also don't want to exercise.
I know, that is a really tough one. I think I haven't really gotten there yet. In my mind, I'm like, I know I need to be working out. So we bought resistance bands recently to watch while we watched The Bachelor or to use while we watched The Bachelor because they're always working out on The Bachelor and it makes me feel really guilty. But yeah, like definitely in the back of my mind, I can feel myself getting weaker. Like, like over the past year, it's like noticeably something that I've never felt before, where it's like, if I eat wrong, I just feel sluggish. If like,
that's the word, sluggish.
Yeah. Or if I'm sitting in my office too long, my back hurts. Like things like that are like, it's really hard to grasp after living your entire life being like, I don't care. Like everything's great. I can sit cross-legged for hours. Yeah.
And like little things like, especially in the winter in Canada, getting in and out of cars and even subways and making sure that you're actually looking at the floor, making sure that you're not slipping because there's so many, icy roads or like slippery, like subway, tiles and everything. And these are things that I never noticed before where I'm like, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But now I do worry.
Yeah. Now I'm like super careful because I'm like, if I hurt myself, if I fall and I like crack my knee joint or whatever,
I'm out for months.
Yeah. That is not healing. That's going to stay with me forever. Yeah.
And I've gotten so obsessive to the point where a pair of new boots that I got, I actually went to the shoe repair place and asked them to put rubber soles on the bottom. These are things I would have never done in my early 20s.
Right.
But these are things that I think about now where, I don't know if it's an aging thing, but I'm cautious about these things because maybe I've seen people slip and I don't want that to happen for me. But it's also the notion that I know for a fact that, like you said, my body is getting weaker and I can feel it.
Or when you go shopping for shoes and you like turn the shoe around to see like how much tread will this have. Oh my God. There was also like a Letterkenny episode about, I can't remember what they called it, but it's like when you get up from your seat and you do like an old man sigh. It's just like,
oh no.
I'm like, oh, I totally do that now. Or like when you sit down in your chair and you like ease yourself in, you're like,
we're not selling ourselves.
Oh, okay. Well, this is really tough for me. So
I guess this is the reality of 30.
Yeah.
Right? This is what it feels like and looks like.
Yeah, I feel like you are much more optimistic about 30 than I am.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm putting rubber soles.
I know. But when we were talking about it prior,
yeah,
you were like so gung-ho about like all the opportunities that 30 has given you and how your outlook on life has been so optimistic. And
maybe
I would
because
listen
I'm
to
not
that.
married, guys.
Yeah.
I still see like a window of opportunity for myself, for travel, for eating, and nothing to be tied down. And but I do think that that's one of the pros.
I will say that one of the pros is really, I think we kind of touched on this, but it's really just like, you have so much more confidence in yourself that you don't really care about what people think about you, which is equally as good as it is bad. But on the great side, it's just having so much self-esteem. Whereas when you're in your 20s, I think you're still trying to prove yourself. You're still trying to fit in with like what everybody is doing. And then you haven't really established your career yet. So that still really matters to you. Like how you make yourself appear. Like, are you saying the right things? Are you acting mature enough? Whereas now I'm like, I don't care. You don't like me? Fire me. I'll land on my feet somewhere.
Like, try me.
Yeah.
I will say that that's a really, really good point that you brought up, like confidence, right? It's something that you can't really teach. It's something that just comes with experience, and you won't have it in your 20s. Yeah. You just don't.
Well, some people do, I'm sure, but I think it's definitely been like a struggle. Even
for them, like the level of confidence, if you were already a confident person in your early 20s, like, can you imagine with experience, with growth, and with travel and all these, different, and, knowing all these different people in your life? I think it just kind of, it kind of continues to grow in your 30s. And I will say that I feel the most like myself now. I do feel more confident. I do have, healthy amount of self-esteem.
Yeah.
And I am comfortable with saying no to people that I don't want to spend time with.
Yeah. And
if I think it's a hassle, I won't go.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it.
I think to add on to that, I'm like, I definitely have more confidence in myself, but I don't think I feel I'm at my prime, if this makes sense. Like, I feel like as I've gotten older, felt like I kind of mentioned, like, I feel dumber, but it's also partially realizing that the world is really big, and I will never know everything, and there's still a lot that I don't know. Like, when you're younger, you're like, oh, I don't know. I'm not going to know all this stuff because I'm young. I don't have experience. But now having like 10 years of experience or 10 plus years of experience under my belt, I still don't know a lot. And I think maybe it'll probably get worse as I get older. But even though I feel more confident in myself, being like, I'm certain that I'm doing my best, and that I feel like probably other people don't know what they're doing either. I feel like I can survive in this world, but I also feel like I'm not at my prime anymore, because I think when I was younger, I had this like fake confidence, being like, I'm the best. Yeah. Or I know how to do the right things. But now I'm like, I don't really know. Like, other people do things in all kinds of ways. What is the right answer anyway?
Well, I think maybe when you're younger, you're just a little bit more naive about what,
It's very black and white, right? Yeah. When you're younger, but now it's like, oh, there's so many shades and colors, and
I do remember
whole new world.
I do remember when I was like really, really young. This is like maybe when I was in like 8 years old or 7 years old. I remember looking at my parents like, wow, they know everything. Yeah, they're really smart, and they've got it figured out. Yeah. And as I grow older, I'm like, they don't know anything. And they are just trying to figure it out. I am so confident my parents still, they have experience, let's just say. They have life experience. But gosh, in terms of things like buying a car. I know they have their personal experience, but they definitely don't know what the right answer is. It's all about doing your research and being prepared and whatever the situation is. But I remember being fooled as a child, thinking that my parents had all the answers.
Yeah.
Gosh,
well, that's what I mean. When you're a kid and you look at adults and you're like, wow, like you know so much. You're so wise. Yeah. And now you get to that age that you like remember looking up at them and you're like, wow, we know nothing at all.
Yeah. It's probably how what we're going to feel. Like, it's kind of like, for example, looking at our directors and our VPs now, thinking, oh, these people, know what they're doing. They have so much more experience. Mm-hmm. When we get there, we're probably going to be the same and, feel, actually probably don't know as much as you think I do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out as I go. And I think with every stage in life, there's always going to be... you can always do better, but I will say that people have told me, so my colleagues, older colleagues have told me that 40 and 50 actually gets better. Seriously.
Some people said about 30.
No, but they're like, it's true. They're like, you even give less of it.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty low right now. The amount that I give right now
is really, she's like, so if it's 0, it gets to negative.
That's when I become really bitter and sarcastic, which I mean is also somewhere I aspire to be, so that's okay.
Oh man.
All right, so I'm really curious to hear about your stories and what you guys think. Hopefully, if you're not 30 yet, I hope we haven't dampened it for you. It really is an interesting and fulfilling place to be. I can't even take myself seriously.
Yeah, I think it's like different for everyone. Everyone's experience will be different in their 30s. This is our version of it. We probably sound a lot older and weaker than we actually are.
We sound really broken. Like our knees are.
We're also not that antisocial as well. But this is just our version of it. And I hope you get a good laugh.
Yeah. And I mean, okay, plus side, we get to have nice things now.
Yes.
Yeah. So
cheers to 30.
Cheers.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday.
Thanks for listening to the Let's Talk Basic podcast. For more exclusive content, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Let's Talk Basic.